Hello, everyone. Welcome and thank you for joining us in this new thrilling FTB Lunch and Learn series, in which we guide you on an expedition through life at Wood. We'll be showcasing a new profession every month and providing you with a comprehensive glimpse into their daily routine from sunrise to sunset, their contributions, and the distinctive duties and obligations they bear. This type of content is what you've all been asking for, and we hope to inspire you to take a role in energy. And today, without further ado, I'm really looking forward to introducing you to Shirley Ike. She is the Global Director for Digital Consulting at Wood, focusing on data management in particular. In her role, she leads a team that supports all aspects of data-related initiatives for clients by combining state-of-the-art technologies with practical data-driven solutions, standards, and procedures. Shirley's team aims to efficiently manage and leverage data as the essential foundation for transforming complex and dynamic information into actionable intelligence. By doing so, she empowers her clients to achieve their digital transformation goals, which is such a buzzword right now. I feel like everything is around digital transformation. So thank you so much, Shirley, for joining us today.
Thank you so much, Flipping the Barrel, for having me, and Jamie for discussing how my role plays into the energy space.
Yeah, well, Shirley, I know that you have a master's degree in chemical engineering. So I'm very curious, for starters, how did you end up in a role in digital transformation? And tell us a little bit about your educational background and how you got to where you are today.
Okay. Well, actually, I grew up in the UK. I'm actually Nigerian originally, but I grew up in the UK. I graduated from Imperial College London with a master's in chemical engineering. And following this, I began working as a flow assurance consultant within Wood. I decided to pursue this role because my boss at the time came to my university to present about the company Multiphase Solutions Inc., which is what it was known at the time. And it was literally the first light bulb moment I had that connected my degree to real life problem solving. After the presentation, as a giant nerd, I went down to the front to speak to him on a one-to-one basis and quizzed him about the company, which was called MSI, that was later acquired by Wood. I found that the classes I was taking directly actually related to the necessary foundation for this job, such as multi-phase modules, thermodynamics, controls, etc. And these directly related to the work we did in flow assurance, which is trying to assure flow in the complicated systems, which have different phases flowing, etc. But I don't want to go into too much detail there. It is worth noting, though, that before I actually went into energy, I interned at an investment bank, which has since gone bankrupt. So I totally made the right decision in pursuing the career path and followed really where I am meant to be. I really believe that the presentation from my boss, my later boss, is what steered me back into energy. It ignited a passion in me to use what I studied as I could, because as I could see the direct impacts and I could make that I can make in the real life world, with all the learnings I had acquired at university. Okay.
I love that. I love that you came into energy. And not only that, but you're part of something really big right now. And for those who might not know, can you tell us what digital transformation means to you and what it means to Wood?
Well, it basically, a lot of our clients are kind of wanting to step into the 21st century. They're recognizing that how they utilize their data is very, very important. So what we're doing is stepping into that space. So we're saying to them, we have the domain expertise, and we recognize there's a lot of technology out there, but we can be the bridge for you guys. We can support you guys, knowing the background on how you work in energy, and then leveraging technology to support you guys in transforming how you function, how you work, how you smarten up, and how you use your data, etc. So that's really what digital transformation means. It's literally coming in and trying to develop a platform where you have a single source of truth, i.e., you are fully aware of everything that's going on in your asset. And then if you have that information, you can use a lot. You can do predictive analytics, monitoring your asset better, making sure people aren't doing working in silos, making sure that whenever you have different vendors coming in, there's a single source of truth, etc. So that really is what digital transformation is. And that's what it means to me.
Mm.
At least, yeah.
It sounds like your role is very impactful. So, for somebody who might be interested in this digital transformation space, what type of positions did you take before you actually got the role as the global director for this division? Can you walk us through a little bit of what your back history was for those that might want to aspire to be in a role like this?
Yeah, well, I moved to Houston probably in 2012, actually. So I had started in the UK with my company. I was able to establish myself within our Americas team as a lead consultant. Initially, when I met my boss in Imperial College, and then I joined the company, et cetera. It was bought by Wood, et cetera. So eventually, I moved to the US. I took on a lead role, and I was then eventually promoted to business manager for Wood Energy and Flow Assurance Company, focusing in Americas. I mean, I love my group in Flow Assurance. We bring together a lot of other disciplines within engineering. We get to see the big picture and then distill it into things like inputs to this pipeline design, operational mitigation strategies, topsides design, etc. However, a real key differentiator for the success of our group is technology. Ability to streamline analysis and reporting, required smart tools. A subset of our group deployed software products that had engineering models of the client's asset linked to the actual facility. And this is what we call a process twin. So I'm trying to link it all together. So a process twin is a model of your asset that can be continuously tuned using your asset data to ensure representation of the real thing. And you can imagine if I have a model of my asset that I can then use to do a lot of what if analysis. I can also use that to gain more information that I cannot measure. You can also there's a lot of benefits to that. So my exposure to the benefits of technology and optimal data utilization is really what fueled further my interest in digital transformation and my subsequent role now, or my next role, which was a digital transformation and innovation manager for Wood Americas. So the aim for this group was to support our clients in digital transformation, whether it's streamlining their data and processes, bringing it together and ensuring it makes sense, and then utilizing this data to support everything from design to operation. And this could be in form of 3D visualization, process optimization, predictive analytics, physics-based modeling, utilizing AI as well. So in part of the work we did here is that we actually use physics-based model to train AI ML models. So the idea is that those process trained models you build, you can use that to run multiple simulations that mimics everything that could happen within your asset. You use that to train an AI, and then you tell it the best. So you teach it the best steps to take, so it learns. So therefore, when it sees it in real life, it can then give you the best decision when you implement that in your process.
That is so incredibly neat, especially when you talk about AI. AI is like all the rage now. And the younger generation is just like immersed in it. I mean, you see AI everywhere. Sorry, go ahead, Shirley.
Sorry. Yeah, I mean, like that's kind of, so initially I had that role, but now I have a role as a global director within Digital Consulting Group, which is now focusing on data management. And data management is the backbone for a successful digital transformation. You must be able to structure your data and your processes. Otherwise, it would be difficult to streamline the way you work. The goal, so the data is the start of anything that you're doing, basically, right? So if you have the information, so even if you're going to train AI, you need information to train that AI on, right? So how you structure your data and your processes is the foundation for that. So that's kind of what I take care of now in my new role. Okay.
You mentioned a few things like engineering, physics, modeling. What type of background does somebody need as far as degree that you think to take on a role like this? You being a chemical engineer and especially a master's, do you think that the others could come in from a marketing role, a communications role, or do you think that a really an engineering type position might be required for such a position within a digial space?
It's a tough question. I mean, I think my advice would be, well, definitely have a solid foundation or of any kind of an education foundation. I'm not sure exactly. I think engineering is ideal, but I'm sure people who are willing to learn can pick things up. So definitely a solid educational foundation. But the most important advice I would give is to ensure that you're pursuing your actual interest. because you need to have the drive to continuously seek out new information and stay up to date with the ever evolving technology and innovation space. And in terms of skills, I mean, I would say, I mean, in addition to that, you also need to make sure you can communicate well and also have problem solving skills. You have to be able to ensure that you can convey information clearly and concisely, but that you're also able to work to resolve challenges creatively and constructively. We are consultants, ability to.
We're always very interested what people's actual days look like, and also incorporate some of your personal things that you like to.
Yeah. Well, my current role as a director in digital consultant means I'm responsible for operational delivery and P&L globally for my team. So I'm responsible for all day-to-day management and operations decision, ensuring high standards of service delivery and quality. So my actual goal and vision for my group is to be, the trusted partner of choice for our clients to support them in their digital transformation journey. So data management, again, like I said, is the backbone for any successful digital transformation. I'll just keep saying that. So it is a very, very important step. So just then moving on to actually what I do on a day-to-day basis. All the activities I do from morning till evening often involves a lot of one-to-one with my team, as well as integrated meetings to support my global team. Also meeting with upper management, business development teams, and other business unit leaders that are taking care of other aspects of Wood Digital Consulting, also Greater Wood, because we often work collaboratively in servicing our clients to ensure robust product or service delivery. My day often starts as early as 6, sometimes earlier. I try to avoid the earlier ones to support multiple time zones. And can go sometimes as late as 9:30, but I try not to ever have my day that starts at 6 and ends at 9:30. So I usually stagger it so it happen at the same time. So ideally, the first part of my day is attending an F45 workout class. This is really the best way, I think, to kickstart my day, as I feel more energized and activated all day. I try to fit this in between 6 and 8 a.m. for the most part. I also try to ensure I make time during my morning for the UK teams, sometimes Australia when they stay up a little bit later in the evening. I focus mostly in America's team, or after 11 towards the late afternoon, and then sometimes I have calls with Australia in the evenings. Melbourne does have a nice overlap around 4 o'clock our time, CST, in Houston, but Perth is normally a little bit later for us to connect in the evening my time. So that's generally what my day looks like.
I can only imagine being in such a global role, all the people that you touch. And there's a lot of people are very interested in energy because of the opportunity to travel and see other parts of the world. In a role like yours, do you feel like that is true and you do get a chance to not only meet these people, I'm assuming also virtually, but go to different sites and have opportunities to see and explore other parts of the world?
Well, my role is global, but I've only been in this particular role for about 3 months. But some travel is definitely required for things like key client meetings, leadership, strategy meetings, etc. I'm actually heading to the UK soon, luckily, and I get to see family too. And I get, for clients as well as to attend a conference over there, and also to really spend time with my team. The idea is, of course, to make sure that you have your folks enrolled onto the vision of the group. And also to learn from them, have a bit of show and tell sessions so that I understand exactly what they do. And they also understand what my vision for the group is. So, and in terms of scheduling, how much I travel will be dependent on the need, really, whether client management, etc., team. So it's 3 months so far, and this is really the first trip I'm taking. So.
Well, that's exciting. And at least you get to go back home too. So I think that's a nice added bonus. When you talked about going and seeing your teams, is there any projects that you can kind of walk us through that you might be working on, just like maybe a notable one that you might be doing, or just an example of what it would be like in your role?
We're supporting multiple clients globally currently, including a couple of notable ones actually in Gulf of Mexico, where we've been involved in supporting them in building their digital transformation strategy. And this includes helping them articulate the problem that they're trying to solve, identify the end goal with clear KPIs, and then finally, this will feed into an implementation ready roadmap, which would then the next stage would be kind of coming up with a detailed strategy to actually achieve and maintain these goals. So a lot of our clients will come and go, oh, We want to do exorbitant things like global optimization, they want to do remote operations. There's a lot of like big goals out there. So what we do is try to distill it into like bite-sized chunks and steps
Mm-hmm.
to actually achieve it. So we take a look at what they're doing, identify what the gaps are, and then try to help them in building up a plan of action. So yeah, other goals that clients might have might be like, oh, I want to reduce offshore employees. And a way to achieve that could be utilizing your data intelligently to then do predictive and prescriptive maintenance. So if you know when you will need maintenance, then you plan better instead of just going out there for no reason. You can also then start to track your actual data versus documentation if you're able to implement a life cycle information management, i.e., actually being able to have a single source of truth where you are tracking all the information in one platform. A lot of our clients also want to say, oh, they want to monitor their asset health. And again, information is power. The data, being able to leverage that single source of truth is also an ability to know exactly what's going on in your asset at any time. Some clients also want to reduce their carbon footprint. And this is also something that we support them with. We do analysis for that, but we also have tools that can actually track their emissions and compare it to their limits, and then give them and then flag when they're going above and whatnot. So yeah, so generally there's a lot of stuff that we do for clients, just depending on what they're looking for.
It sounds like every day is a different day, which for some people can be really exciting. So tell us a little bit about what kind of qualities someone might have in your role and like what the expectations might be. I mean, I know you mentioned before some when you and I spoke, like micromanaging might not be the best way to go about this role. Can you tell us a little bit about some aspects that would be a positive way and some of the things that you could look for in a position like yours?
Oh, so in terms of like what skill sets?
Yes.
Deal. Yeah, definitely micromanaging is a bad one. So I think that it's a very, very good question. So, and I'm just trying to make sure I frame my thoughts accurately. I think micromanaging is bad because if you're working with a team of people, it's very, very important to give them autonomy and ownership. More heads are always better than one. It is important to challenge and motivate the team to promote growth. And then conversely, other traits that are very, very beneficial is being able to communicate. It is very, 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 very necessary to ensure you can communicate what your goals and your vision and strategy are, and then that they're clear and concise. Because a lot of our employees just want to be kept in the loop and understand the direction of the company. And this is something that's really, really, really important to me because I am someone that needs to have the clear big picture for me to jump on board. So, and I want to also make sure I give the same thing to my teams as well.
I think the clarity and the transparency is so important, and that also ties back to the culture of the company, and how Wood's culture and what it's like. Can you talk to us about what you enjoy about Wood and how it's been comparison to any other experiences you may have with other companies, like you notably mentioned possibly going into investment banking, which you ended up not doing. So as far as the cultural dynamics.
I definitely, one thing I really, really, really enjoy about working for Wood is the people. I find that I'm surrounded by exceptional people, who really take pride in their work and want to deliver at the very high standards. I definitely think that is differentiated between Wood and maybe some other companies. I also really enjoy that communication and transparency, which I truly value, again, because I am someone that likes to have that full picture and visions and really understand and buy into that for me to jump on board and really drive these initiatives forward. So yeah, I think absolutely the people and the transparency and communication is key and something that I really enjoy working.
And I think that also goes back to your leadership style. And so in your role today, you do manage a group of people and it is global. What strategies or approaches have you found to be successful in managing a team? And how have you adapted your management style depending on maybe what region or what scope of project you're working on?
I have a team of maybe 150 to 200 people globally. But my actual direct reports is 5 people. I have a lot of one-on-ones with them. A lot of the times I just want to sit and make sure that I understand what their inputs are as well, and then they also understand mine. Again, transparency and communication is something I try to focus on with my team, and get their buy-in. I don't know. I don't like to dictate or say this is what needs to be done. I think that collaboration is key. Getting our heads together is key. Being able to challenge one another is key. It's really, really important that, especially for our clients, if we can't challenge each other, we do not put our best foot forward for our clients. And that's definitely an environment that I thrive in. And I hope that whoever I'm working with is comfortable with as well.
That's what a great outlook though. And I love the challenging aspect that you add to it, because I think that's really important, especially in these big projects that you're working on. So knowing that your role is global, knowing that you're just about to do some of your first travel, does Wood allow flexibility in any position in Wood, not just essentially yours, but is there flexible schedules that are acceptable? Do you get opportunities to work from home? Can you give us a little bit of details around that?
Well, yeah, actually, the pandemic definitely yielded a lot of this, to be fair. So Wood actually does have a hybrid schedule. So it's really wonderful new change to the working life. I personally like it. It removes a lot of the commute time. So that hybrid schedule means that you can go into the office sometimes and work from home other times. And for me personally, it's easier for me to work out in the mornings and then jump on that call rather than then going to get ready and then driving into the office, right? Rather, you see what I mean? And also for me, I find that for more focused work, working from home is better, but then for more teamwork and collaboration, being in the office is much better. The only caveat there is that it does mean that you're more accessible at all hours, which can be beneficial, especially having a global team, as long as you maintain a work-life balance.
Mm-hmm. You hit all of the right points there. And I feel that in my role as well. And I do think the flexibility is so important, because just that commute time alone, you save an hour and a half. There's so much you can do with that. I love to hear that your role in Wood is pushing on that flexibility and giving that opportunity to their employees.
Absolutely.
To close, I'd really like to ask you, doing digital transformation, working with AI and all this data, and also how can we apply new things to our customers? How do you see your role evolving in the future? The progression of AI is I would say like hyper speed right now. So we'd love to get your outlook.
I definitely see an expansion of what we're doing in digital consulting in a global scale, expanding to more core markets, maybe more locations. A lot of our clients are recognizing that the need to leverage their data, and they see a need to move away from document management and data management rather. They want to structure both their data as well as their processes and optimize their ways of working. And I think Wood is really well placed, with that domain expertise, merged with technology. And that technology, we take an agnostic stance in that space. So to support our clients in this transition, with countless benefits that I imagine we haven't even thought about all of it just yet. So as long as you're able to lay that foundation, right, of being able to structure your data, your information processes, there's a lot you can build upon that, whether it's additional intelligence, being able to optimize how you work, using that data to train AI ML models, using that data. Access to that data allows you full visualization of your system and how you operate. There's just countless benefits that can come out of that. And I really think that there's an expansion, there's a boom that's coming in the industry. Not just energy, but just all the industries.
I really like that you ended with that boom in the industry, because I do feel like in energy specifically, there's such a big opportunity for all this digital transformation to take place, and to really expand on that. So I'm very happy to have you come on and explain to the audience and to those that are listening, what your role is and how it applies to energy specifically. I feel that it's very important in the energy space to have this, to have a digital aspect to your business, and let alone to be consulting all of the operators and customers that you have on that digital transformation. So thank you, Shirley, so much for spending time with us today and walking us through your daily routine as well as your role. So I really appreciate it. And it was just a really great glimpse into what you do.
Thank you so much, Jamie, Flipping the Barrel podcast. Appreciate you for having me. I enjoyed myself.
Good. I'm glad. If you liked this episode, please continue to follow. We post once a month, and you will find them on the Wood site and the Flipping the Barrel site with the Lunch and Learns from Wood. So thank you so much for joining.